Well, hi everyone, I'm Al Ruechel, and thank you for joining us for this portion of the PCS Journal. We hope you've been watching us for the many, many years we've been doing this program. Our joy to talk to Dr. Michael Grego, who is the superintendent of Pinellas County Schools. Good to see you.
Great to see you too, Al.
I really do love doing this program. You do know that. And I know you love doing it too, because our goal here is to communicate. So we got this big thing going on here, that we had a worldwide conference with women to teach them about STEM. This blows me away.
It does, and I was blessed to be able to meet with these women from throughout the world. It's an organization that brings women kind of leading edge on STEM education from throughout the world, and we were chosen in Pinellas County to have 8 of these women, 50 in total, that will be traveling throughout the United States and throughout the world to learn about STEM education. So you've interviewed Laura Spence before, you know the terrific job she does. And
lots of energy.
So we were really happy to have them come here, learn about our curriculum, learn about our how we roll STEM education out at the elementary level, the middle school level, and our high school level. So they spent a whole day together, and then they were leaving from here to go to Chicago and to other places, LA. And so what a joy to have them here, and also what a joy that our district is being thought of. Yeah. Such a leading, cutting-edge type of initiative.
Yeah, and they were from Argentina, Egypt, Estonia, Malta, Paraguay, South Africa, Vietnam, and Zambia. You know, let me ask you this, because I heard someone suggested this to me. They said this to me, because I hear it in the grocery store. Okay, that's where I get 90% of my news. They say, we love all the emphasis on STEM, but what about reading, writing, and all those other kind of things? And I stepped into my role and go, hey, they integrate all that into STEM, don't they?
They really do, and on the other side of that grocery line, you might hear that we've paid too much emphasis on state assessments in reading and mathematics and so much focus on science, and that students really do need to apply those types of things. And so what STEM education has done for our curriculum is to take the English language arts and mathematics and science and engineering and made them applicable to real-world problems. And that's what students are so excited about in our schools.
And along those lines, Eastlake High School has always been on the cutting edge of a lot of STEM things. I remember years ago they started the robot wars, and they were always involved in that. And they were also recognized as well.
They were recognized by Newsweek as one of the top STEM programs in the country, and so we're thrilled by they have an engineering magnet, but really there's a theme throughout the middle school and high school there of STEM education. And again, I want to emphasize that STEM is just the application of those academic areas, especially in math. You know, so many times you'll hear, when will I ever use this in mathematics? And so what STEM does is apply the mathematics concepts to real world problems.
All right, we've got a long list of congratulations things. This is what I love, because this is the stuff folks you generally don't see in the newspaper, or sometimes you don't even see on TV, some of the congratulations. Let's start out with the Outstanding Elementary School Educator of 2019. Tell me about that.
That's the science educator, Amber Robinson, who is a teacher at Douglas Jamerson Elementary School, and she's been there 16 years, and I talked to her actually the other day. A phenomenal teacher and great recognition, and I am proud of all of our teachers, whether they're recognized or not, but specifically we have a list of these that are recognized statewide. Amber is one of them. In addition, we have 2 Spanish teachers that were awarded the Florida Foreign Language Association award. One, Linda Santiago, is a Spanish teacher at Lakewood High School, and Irvin Marshaw, it was issued the Irvin Marshaw Award, and also Alvaro Quino, an IB Spanish teacher at St. Pete High School. So the point here is that our teachers are not only excelling here, but being recognized throughout the state of Florida.
Let's talk about some of the other things that are going on with the teachers. Now, just so that we get this straight, because there have been some teachers that have been in negotiations and stuff. Pinellas County, how often do you renegotiate contracts?
Every year. And in fact, this evening, in a few hours, we'll be voting on all of our contracts. Full settlement. We're very, very pleased, and I want to thank all of the unions who have worked so diligently with our negotiating team, but we're very pleased to have a starting teacher salary now of $45,000.
Oh, that's good.
For starting teachers. We will have an average of 3.25% increase pay raise across the board, including administrators, non-represented individuals, our support staff, and so forth. So we'll be voting today, and this will go into effect. Retro pay or retro checks will be out before the winter holidays. We want to provide those resources to our employees, and we're real thankful for that. Our board was gracious enough to pick up the minor increase along with our unions of the health care. You know, health care is always a battle
always
each
going
year.
up,
The
yeah.
board picked up the increase in the Florida retirement system. So over the last 6 or 7 years, though, Al, I want to say kudos to our school board. We have over a 30%, 31% pay increase for our employees. And I'm real
that's
thrilled
great,
with that
yeah.
with that factor. Our governor, as you know, has come out and really wants to push higher starting teacher salaries, and we're almost there, and at the 47.5 that he talked about. So we're looking forward to working with our elected officials to try to bring some reasonableness in that, not only the teacher's starting salary, but
Yeah.
really the experienced teachers there. We have to bump all teachers up, and not just the starting teacher salaries, but the veterans and experienced teachers along the way.
Let's talk a little bit about testing, because it's mentioned back and forth like the kids are being tested too much, but then you have to go, well, what is testing generally for? Testing is generally used as a measuring tool to figure out how well everyone is doing, not just the students, but how well the teachers are doing as well. So where do you find some middle ground on testing?
It has to be a balance, and thank you for saying that. But you know, we've always had testing in school, right? Whether it's
sure.
a quiz on Friday, is to see, so what has the student learned? And really, as you said, it also talks to us about how well did we teach it. Just because we teach something doesn't necessarily mean that it was learned.
Well, that's true.
And then also, how do we adjust our curriculum, or how do we adjust our instruction, because an overwhelming number of students got it, or an overwhelming number of students didn't get it. And so it informs the teaching profession, it informs the administration, it informs parents, it informs a lot of people. Now, can it be overdone? Absolutely, like anything else. And so everything in moderation, so to speak, and using it wisely and using it to inform the instructional delivery is really the key to our profession.
And not teaching to the test, because I know that's, I hear that kind of thrown around a lot too. So let's talk about, now back to the awards. I should have mentioned the first thing when we were talking. So we got some more Academies of Distinction. Tell me what these are and who makes this distinction.
So let me give a shout out to the Pinellas Education Foundation on the Academies of Distinction, and Joni Jonas, and really a lot of folks in our career technical department, along with the Pinellas Education Foundation and many of the business leaders. They created these Academies of Distinction. They developed a rubric of excellent academies. What are the components? What are the attributes of these academies? And then they went out and they actually did site visits, and they evaluated these components in each of these. We have over 20 high school academies that have reached this pinnacle of academies of distinction.
Yeah.
And this past board meeting, we recognized the first ever middle school academies of distinction. That's at Eastlake Middle School Academy of Engineering, before you talked about the STEM relationship. At Osceola Fundamental High School, the Culinary Arts Academy, and the Center for Technology and Digital and Entertainment and Design. And then our new Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School. Let's not forget, this is its first year.
I know it.
And it has been recognized for the Academy of Construction, Academy of Electricity, Gaming, Simulation, and Programming, and the Vet Assistant Academy. So we're really excited about that, and rounded off with that list is Tarpon Springs, the Veterinary Sciences Academy.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, the Academy of Gaming. Now, parents, don't get the wrong idea. In fact, I met a guy that was a graduate of Pinellas County Schools, didn't even go to college, but he is a gaming world champion. But not only does he do gaming, but he also, on the side, works for the Department of Defense and helps them when people hack into their software. This is gaming.
It's a programming.
Yeah, it's programming.
And students love it, and there's a lot of jobs out there too. So.
Yeah. Now, there's going to be a couple new academies that are being launched as well coming up.
Junior Achievement is working with us and the business community to launch a few schools here and a few schools in Hillsborough County. It's the 3DE. And this is where you create these academies in the high schools. And we've chosen to start these two 3DE academies at St. Pete High School and Dunedin High School. And this is for all of the students. It's not a magnet program. These are for zone students who want to gain an interest in it. But the businesses are coming to the school and will be developing real-world problems in using the curriculum. And they're going to involve themselves, involve their businesses in these types of academies. This took off in some school districts outside of Atlanta and turned some really struggling high schools around. It was in a school district in Palm Beach that was rated a state state as a D, and as the students got more engaged in these 3D academies, that school is up to a B or C.
Oh, that's
back
great.
and forth. So it increased attendance, increased GPAs, increased focus on school. So we're doing this to really not only turn schools or to elevate them, but to really excite our students. I don't want to project that it's a dropout or an alternative ed program.
No,
it is
no.
truly a program that engages businesses into our high schools and through a business model.
Now, this figure kind of astounds me. 5,000 role models of excellence for boys and girls clubs. 5,000? They actually will have that many? I mean, that's what they're shooting for, right?
Well, that's the name of the club, but the reality,
okay.
5,000 role models. And yes, we have close to that throughout our district, but the reality of it is we talk a lot about the culture and climate of schools. I really believe that it's our clubs and organizations in our schools that really make the difference. The Girlfriends programs, the 5,000 role models, and this past week we had 200 boys join the 5,000 role models and 150 girls join the Girlfriends Club, and we have 42 Girlfriends Clubs throughout our district. And these are clubs and organizations that teach character development and teach how to be and manners and things like that, of how to grow up and to be a responsible student and be a responsible young person.
Mm-hmm. And of course, another thing that by the time this airs will probably already have gone by is the Great American Teach-In, and why this is so significant for the kids, but also for the people that are coming in and, in quotes, teaching them what a day in a life is like for them.
It is, and it's one of my favorite days. And I want to thank you because you've done this for the Great American Teach-In for how many years?
A lot of years.
A lot of years. And I want to.
And when I can't make the Great American Teach-In, I say, well, let's try the week after, and I'll show up for your school anyway.
Whenever you want to show up, you're welcome. But you're right. It does give an opportunity for people to come in and see our schools. Perhaps the only day where they come in, they can talk a little bit about their businesses, but they also see the children in their community and see how we're running schools. And so it's a wonderful partnership. I love the Great American Teach-In.
And lastly, want to talk about school safety again. Things appear to be what it's called homeostasis, and everything is cool right now. Everybody seems to be doing their jobs. Have you any major incidents that you've had in the last couple of weeks, or are we pretty good?
Really not. We continue to be in touch with the sheriff and the various municipalities and the chiefs throughout our school district. We're doing very, very well. We're doing well in terms of the presence on our campus and keeping our campuses safe. So knock on wood, but things have gone really, really smooth this year so far, and we want it to continue. But we're constantly looking for ways to continue to hone in, improve, and we're never going to be satisfied with the status quo.
Yeah, and one last thing, folks. I know it's a long way down the line, but you need to start thinking about where you're going to choose to go to school in the coming years, particularly for this next year, and that it's a good time to get out to these schools and visit. Do we have a lot of parents that do these discovery nights?
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of parents, and I encourage you to continue to hone in on our website. And by the way, let me put a shameless plug. Our website is newly designed. Same structure, but new and improved.
Right.
And if you go on there, all of the dates, all of the discovery days, and the school visitations, everything is on there.
Great. Dr. Grego, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
We'll have more right after this, so please stay with us.